The Transformers Rise of the Beasts interpretation of Optimus Prime is probably my favorite live-action theatrical version of Optimus Prime. Design-wise and character-wise, as much as I love my Bayverse Prime, because I'm a Bayverse kid, this one just ticked all the right boxes. And of course, I was super excited when they announced we'd be getting a Studio Series figure of him. And then he turned into a Target, he's a Target exclusive, and he's notoriously hard to find, but I found one, that's right. So, Studio Series Target exclusive Rise of the Beast Optimus Prime is going to be the subject of today's Deceptibot 9 reviews, so let's go ahead and show you the real power of a Prime. How's it going, everyone? Deceptibot 9 here, and thank you, as always, for watching, or for coming to another episode of Deceptibot 9 reviews. Before we get to Optimus Prime, I would like to ask, if you like what you see, go ahead, hit that like button. Plus, if you aren't already subscribed, come on, dude, just subscribe already. I know you want to, and all of my social links are in the description down below. So without further ado, let's go ahead, head down to the review station and check out Studio Series Rise of the Beasts Optimus Prime. Alright, here we are down with Studio Series Rise of the Beasts Optimus Prime. Finally we get this guy in hand after struggling to find him at many Targets. Finally, he is here, and I'm very glad that we finally found him, because this guy rocks. This guy is super awesome. At first, we all thought he was going to be just a minor retool of SS-38, but he's actually not at all, really. He takes some basic conversion scheme from SS-38 and maybe a part or two here, but other than that, honestly, he's like a really completely brand new mold, and it works so well. He is so good. So let's go ahead and get him off the spinning table and check out the details on Optimus Prime. Alright, of course we gotta come up first with this head sculpt, and it looks just beautiful and just like he does in the movie. Absolutely fantastic. We get, of course, the blue for the top and outer part of the head. There are some light blue painted eyes. There they are. You can see him in there. Of course, we got silver on the crest and silver for the faceplate, and you can see all the details in there. Looks very nice, and I'm glad we got the face-plated version rather than the unmasked version, because as nice as that face is, it's nothing compared to the traditional Optimus faceplate face anyway. But yeah, moving down here to the chest, we can see, of course, he's got his big truck windows with the, I don't know what you call these, but the sort of window guards that are on the top there, which I do really like, done up in a nice silver. Over on both of the arms, we got Autobot symbols with the white highlighted there, and we get the silver strip with the two little, headlight sections that are traditional and typical of Optimus Prime design. A little bit of silver or gray detail going on up here. That is there present in the design. Of course, we got the smokestacks and the little extra wing bits that were on the smokestacks, and a lot of the concept art in the final design rendering, obviously. Down here at the waist piece, or the ab section, I guess, rather, we get a lot of detail molded in going on to this section here. This is done up, though, in all gray, whereas the sides here are painted in silver. I wish this was silver to match, but it's a moving hinge piece, so I understand why they didn't want to paint that. Inside the chest, there is nothing, no matrix or anything, just a piece for transformation, which we'll, of course, get to here in a little bit. On the arms, we get nice molded detail going on here for the elbow sections with the little circle divots there, and on the actual arms themselves, done up all in red. We get a little bit of molded detail there, and a lot of molded detail here on this section. On the arm, which is done up in all gray, kind of breaks up the red, which is kind of nice. I don't remember if the whole arm is red in the movie or not. The fists themselves down here, just molded up with fingers and everything into a fist shape. A little bit of truck detail. We'll see that more when we get to the truck. Moving down here to the waist, of course, done up in the silver color with the yellow highlights there, as usual for the Optimus design. Here, the legs up the top part done up in all gray with all of this super really nice looking molded mechanical detail going on on the inside of the leg. I really, really like this, and you can see even moving down here to the inside of the shin calf area, so much molded detail happening down here. It just looks so tremendous, and I'm sure there's some customizers out there who will really take some, you know, some color or some black wash and really make some of those details pop. But moving to the front here, we get this little knee section that's present in the design. It just hangs out on the knee. I don't know what it does, but it looks nice, I guess. We got these little silver pieces on both the knees here, a little bit of silver paint detail, a little bit of more silver paint detail down here for the shin with some molded detail going on in there. Looks very nice. Feet got a bunch of molded detail on them as well, done up in all blue. And really quick, take a look at the back, which I think this is one of the only pieces that is similar or reused from the SS38. But yeah, you can see it's got the back design here, done all painted in red with some 5mm ports and slightly smaller, I think maybe 3mm ports on these ones, just for weapon storage and whatnot. You can see some wheels back here we'll get to, and yeah, there's the rest of the back of the figure. He's of course got his wheels on his leg. And that's going to be about it for the details on this Optimus Prime. He looks very good, and I am very pleased with how he came out. I think he, a little loose there on the leggies, I think he looks very spectacular all around. So that's enough details. Let's go ahead and talk accessories. So as you saw in the turnaround, Optimus does come with 2 accessories. The first one being his cannon, which is similar in design to how it appears in the film. It's got the little spike coming out. It is molded all in just all in gray, nothing crazy, but it does have a lot of nice molded detail all around. It does have a hole here on the front that is 5mm port compatible, but the spike kind of gets in the way of the 5mm or of a blast effect or something, just depending on which one you're trying to use. So just be wary of that. And I mean, it's all right. The cannon is probably one of my least favorite parts of this figure, just because it's really small in comparison to how it appears in the film. But you can, if you want to store it on the back of these smaller 5mm ports, it has 2 tabs on either side. You can just slap it in there if you want to have it stored, or you can flip out this little piece here, fold the hand in. This works on either hand. You can do this either hand, and there's a little bit of a peg there, so you just slap the cannon on to the arm there, and you can get the cannon coming out of his hand, which I love the look, and I like the idea behind that. It just, I think it needs to be a little bit bigger to match how it appeared in the film, but you know, it's fine. The other accessory that he gets is, of course, his sword, which I love. Looks very reminiscent of the Bayverse style Optimus Prime sword. It is molded in blue, painted up in very nice silver, and I think it looks absolutely spectacular. You can store this on the back as well if you don't want him to use it, just in those smaller pegs. These bigger pegs don't fit the storage for either of these weapons, so I don't know why they're still prevalent there, but they're there, I guess. The couple different things you can do with the sword, so you can put it just straight into his hand like so to have him hold it like that, or because of the way the peg is here, you could just slap it onto the side of the arm if you wanted to do it like that. But the best way to do it, and I love this, is on this flap. You can see there is a little hole cut out there right next to the fist, which is just big enough for this blue peg to slide right in. So it does look like it's coming straight out of the arm to replicate that design choice in the movie, which I absolutely love. And again, you can do that on either arm. So if you want to have the sword coming out of this arm and the cannon coming out of this arm, you can absolutely do that. But yeah, weapons are pretty all right. I think the sword came out really well. Wish the cannon was just a little bit bigger, but it does serve its job there. So that's all of the accessories that Optimus Prime comes with. So let's go ahead and cover articulation. So up here on the head, he does have a ball joint, gets him, you know, rocking and rolling all the way around. Looks up that far, down that far. It can, of course, swivel all the way around. The arms here is probably not my favorite choice for how to do the arms, because they're on these sort of we call them hot rod shoulders. They're on the hot rod shoulder design, but they can go all the way around like this. They can go up this far because of how they work. They can only go down that far. They cannot go forward or back at all. So you just kind of have to, do a little twist up action to get a pose like that out of him. They swivel up here at the the upper arm, the bicep. He does have double elbow joint, which is incredible, and they will also bend backwards just due to transformation. The wrists, well, the cannon here, they can swivel, of course, but the wrist is on a swivel, so you can swivel the wrist all the way around just like that. Let's put the cannon off to the side. And the waist here is on a swivel, gets it going all the way around. Legs go forward this far. They go actually really far forward. And these ones are a little bit weird because it opens up a cavity here on the leg. I honestly don't mind it that much. It is a little bit of an odd design choice in my opinion, but it gets great range out of it going forward. Backward only goes about that far. Legs go out. Ooh, that far. Optimus, you need to work on your splits there, pal. We need to get you going a little bit deeper. I'm going to give that only about a 6. It's the 6 or a 7 on that. It'll go 6.5 for the splits there. Need a little bit of work. There is a swivel here at the thigh. There is a knee bend that goes a little bit over 90, but just at about 90. Feet here, the actual foot itself is on a ball joint, so you can kind of get the foot going, swiveling all the way around, but he does also have an ankle tilt joint, so you can kind of get it cranking in and out all sorts of ways like that. So this Optimus Prime is really, really very poseable, and you can get him in lots of dynamic and very natural looking poses with the exception of the shoulders. It can be a little bit tricky just because of how those work with their hot rodness, but yeah, overall decently poseable. So why don't we go ahead and check out some comparisons here. All right, here is Rise of the Beast Prime with his predecessor, Bumblebee movie Optimus Prime from Studio Series, and as much as I still love this guy, Rise of the Beast Prime is a vast improvement. And here's Studio Series Prime with mainline Rise of the Beast Optimus Prime, which is a fun little toy and was a good stand-in for while we were waiting for Studio Series, but if you're presented with a choice between the two, definitely get the Studio Series instead. Here he is with Rise of the Beast's Bumblebee, so you can see how they look. And here's Rise of the Beast Prime with Rise of the Beast's Scourge. And just for fun, because this is what we do nowadays, here is Rise of the Beast Prime with Masterverse Vicron. Alright, that's going to be about it for the Optimus Prime robot mode, so let's go ahead and get him transformed up into his vehicle mode. And here is Studio Series Optimus Prime transformed up into his truck mode, and I absolutely love it. I think it looks great. And yes, I know there was some, I don't want to say controversy, that makes it sound too heavy. There were some squabbles when the pictures first released about the way some of the stuff is just hanging out here on the back of the truck. Honestly, I don't mind it as much in hand, in picture, and on video. It looks a little more egregious than it feels in hand, but also I like that they simplified the legs up. I didn't really touch on it in robot mode, but when we talk about it in comparison to SS38, which has a cleaner back, and we'll look at, in the comparison, has a cleaner back, but the legs don't hold together nearly as well in robot mode, whereas this guy, his legs hold together perfect in robot mode. It results in a little bit of, some blue bits sticking out here on the back, but honestly, I don't mind. So enough of the turnaround of the truck. Let's go ahead and talk truck details. All right, coming up here onto the front, and we can see everything formed up as it should be. We get, of course, the windows here with the shades, I guess, pieces up on top. A little bit of the grill action happening down here. This is probably where his Autobot symbol is supposed to be in the movie. You got wipers. You got a silver streak here. Of course, traditional Optimus Prime, the main grill. We get the roll bar cage up here on the front with headlights underneath, which look great. If we look at the side of the vehicle, it's the exact same on the other side as well. Coming up here, we get the silver streak all the way along the side. Little black windows happening. There is some molded detail. You can see like the door. You can tell that that's the door there. And I love what the panels did here with the flip down to fold that whole thing out. Wheels are here, and they are all done up in black on the outside, of course, with silver on the inside for the rims, and they do roll. He rolls so incredibly well. The rolling is so smooth on this guy. It is so nice to just sort of ramp this thing around like a real semi-truck. Yes, and the smokestacks here now are prevalent in the back where they belong. If we look at it straight from the back, you can just, kind of see that's what we're looking at here with the back, and the feet are folded up here a little bit. I wish there was a little bit of trailer hitch molding going on with the feet, just so you can kind of see that, but he never uses the trailer in the film anyway. He is just solely the cab, so I'm all right with that. And if we look at the bottom, he folds up and cleans up very well, of course, because most of the robot bits are here up in the cab. And while we're here talking about it, yes, of course, you can store the two weapons here in vehicle mode. This is the only way to store the sword, though. It says so in the instructions. You put it down here, so it's kind of integrated into the transformation, and the gun just sits here in the back with this little notch. You can put it on either side of these things. So that is, not the greatest for the weapon storage with the gun. I like what they did with the sword, though. That is very nice. But yeah, overall, that's going to be about it for the details on the truck. It is a very nice looking truck. I really like this guy all around, if you couldn't tell. So let's go ahead and hit up some truck comparisons. All right, here he is with SS38 in their vehicle modes, and yeah, you can see the differences here, for how similarly kind of like this Optimus was taller and skinnier in robot mode, and they're kind of about now the same size, lengthwise and everything. If we get the fronts of the trucks, yeah, they're about the same size if you line them up like this, but this Optimus is much skinnier. This one's a lot bigger and bulkier, and I think it works in both of their favors for their respective modes. But yeah, and you can see, of course, talk about the backs. Yeah, the back on 38 is a lot cleaner in truck mode, but again, these legs are super fiddly in robot mode, so it's just kind of up to your preference with those two. Here he is with the mainline version, which is, as you can see, a lot smaller and a lot simpler on the details, but gives you a nice idea of what they were going for with that. Here he is with Bumblebee. I feel like these are out of scale slightly in comparison to their robot modes, but maybe it's not. I don't know. I don't know how big a Camaro is to a Freightliner truck, I guess, but I love the way that this looks. I love the sort of more G1 inspired Optimus Prime look with the Camaro Bumblebee. So cool. I honestly love it. I want Bumblebee to be a Camaro all the time going forward. I know that is sacrilegious to say to some people, but I just love Camaro Bumblebee. And truck versus truck, here he is with Scourge, so you can kind of see how these two line up together, despite the fact that most of their scenes in vehicle mode that we saw in like behind the scenes footage and leaks were not actually featured in the movie, so but you can still see how those two look. Here's Vicron trying to hitch a ride. Alright, that's going to about do it for my closer look here at the Studio Series Rise of the Beast Optimus Prime. So, let's go ahead and prime our way back up to me. I used that already kind of technically in the opening. Anyway, let's go ahead and prime our way back up to me for my final prime thoughts. Alright, so my final thoughts on the Studio Series Rise of the Beast Optimus Prime here. I think he is tremendous, if you couldn't tell. From how I talked about him throughout the video. I think he's sculpted very well. His details are fantastic. The paint job is amazing. Transformation is really, really fun and engaging. Very poseable in robot mode with a lot of, you can provide a lot of differences with your posing. You know, convey a lot of emotions through just how he looks here. There are a few small things that I would have, preferred to have changed. I wish the gun was a little bit bigger. It would have been nice if this wasn't sticking out the back and the back of the truck was a little bit cleaner, but I think the sacrifice to make the robot mode legs a little more stable is slightly worth it, and I can overlook that easily. Plus, of course, the big one is I do not think he should have been an exclusive to Target. This should have been a mainline Studio Series release because I think everybody should be grabbing this Optimus Prime because he is truly tremendous. And in a year where we've had some really good primes between Gamer Prime and Armada Prime, he easily stands out as maybe being the top. I don't know because I love Armada Prime, but this one is just very, very good. And if you are able to find it at Target, definitely do yourself a favor and grab this guy. Alright y'all, that's gonna do it for my full review of Transformers Studio Series Target exclusive Buzzworthy Bumblebee Rise of the Beast Optimus Prime. Go ahead and let me know your thoughts on this figure in the comments down below. Let's talk all things Studio Series Optimus Prime. And guys, that brings us to the end of another episode of Deceptibot 9 Reviews. I know. I'll miss you guys too, but it's okay. I'll be back soon. It's alright, I'll miss you a lot. Yeah, okay. Well, with all that said, guys, thank you as always for watching all the way to the end. I do really truly appreciate it. I've been your host Deceptibot 9. Thank you for watching and I will see you guys later.